A few months ago, at the end of June, I think, I made a video about the current state of Cardfight Vanguard Zero. The things I liked, the things I didn't like, the things that could be improved, all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, well, the current state is only the current state, which means that the game has changed considerably since then, and my thoughts have changed. And so it makes sense, as we're about to head into the break ride era next month, to update it, to talk about what has changed since then, the ups, the downs, and my overall thoughts of the game. So let's do that, right? The biggest thing to tackle is a mindset change in regards to how I've been playing the game. I haven't been playing it as often, right? I kind of got bored of it. I kind of got burnt out. And so I've kind of come back recently to start playing it again, and I've only been playing it casually. I've kind of been playing the odd game here and there of ranked mode, and I've only been playing Angel Feather because they're my favorite clan. I've only really been focusing on them. What I've really been doing is, I recently completed a playset of every card in Angel Feather, basically. I didn't open any cards from the newest set. Instead, I opened 50 packs of the generic Asia Circuit Gacha so that I could use the sparking system to get the last copy of Battle Cube and No Seal I needed, and now I have a playset of everything. And what I'm doing now is I'm working towards getting the alternate artwork of the two Pegasuses. I've got 4 copies of 1000 Ray Pegasus, and I've got 1 copy of Million Ray Pegasus, which isn't bad since I've only been working towards that pretty recently. And that's how I've been playing it, basically. I've always been doing the character fights towards Rekka and Angel Feather, because I'm saving up for Zerakiel. And I might see if I can get some SPs here and there too, but that's basically how I've been playing it. You'll notice it's very different to how I used to play it. I would open packs immediately and do pack opening videos, and try to build a good few decks, and try and get like a variety of a lot of things, switching between decks, climbing ranked competitively, that kind of thing. But I haven't been anymore. I've just kind of been playing for fun, doing what I feel like doing when I feel like doing it. Because it's the best way to make the game fun, basically. The game as it's designed to be played, where you build meta decks, go to ranked, and then grind for hours and hours and hours to get the rank reward cards, it's not very fun anymore. And that's kind of the biggest problem with the game. The biggest problem in the game is it's kind of stale. Now, if you're someone who just loves playing Cardfight Vanguard and just wants to grind ranked all day and all night, then cool, this game's still fun, you know, and in fact, it's actually better in some areas that we'll get to soon. But the way it's designed to be grindy and everything, it does lead to burnout pretty quickly. And myself and a lot of other people have gotten burnt out on it, and unfortunately, for bushiroad anyway, that leads to people uninstalling the game, and I don't blame the people who do that. Now, luckily, some systems have actually been improved, mainly the crafting system. Now, they do give you guaranteed drop rates. What does this mean? Well, usually in the past, you'd have to do character fights to get crafting materials to craft the cards you want. Now, the problem with this is twofold. They would give you randomized drop rates, so you don't actually know how many of the crafting material you'll get. Sometimes you won't even get any of the crafting material you want. And the second is that you can only do so many of the hard and very hard character fights per day. So getting enough crafting materials to craft a triple rare took a long time. It was really, really grindy. It took ages no matter how you went around it. Now, they've taken a small, admittedly, step towards helping with that problem, and that's the guaranteed drop rate. See, the thing is, I think one of these problems on their own is fine. Both of them together suck. And so the guaranteed drop rates fixes that, right? The problem with the guaranteed drop rates is it is a compromise. It's not exactly what we want because it only gives you guaranteed drop rates for certain clans on certain days. So there always are guaranteed drop rates, but the clan that you main won't always have the guaranteed drop rates. It'll only get them on certain days. Now, what I've been doing is I've been ignoring this and just spamming Angel Feather regardless, and that's the only character fights I've been doing because I want to save up for Zerakiel. But this is actually really good for people who just play a variety of decks because you can just grind the character fights for the clans that are currently active. And so if you're the kind of person who does play a lot of decks and wants to build a bit of everything, you're actually being rewarded. So I do like this. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's a good enough compromise. And that's another thing. I think VP farmers aren't really a problem anymore. They're here and there, they do appear, but for the most part, they're not a problem. And the reason they were a problem is because you'd run into them constantly. You'd, like, back when I made that first current state of Vanguard Zero video, you would do like 10 card fights and like 5 of those at least, maybe even up to 7, would be VP farmers. And the way I used to play the game, where I'd set aside a couple hours every handful of days to just do nothing but grind ranked, I would just sit there, basically, the game would basically be playing itself because I just send out units and keep attacking. And that would give me a lot of time to think, and basically when I did think, I would just think, is this fun? Is this a thing that I'm enjoying doing? And I came to the conclusion of no, this wasn't very fun. And luckily the systems they put into place almost immediately after that basically got rid of the VP farmers. Now, there are still a handful around. In fact, there's been a bit more around recently than there has over the past couple months. But they're not much of a problem because I haven't really gotten that many. So, again, I guess it speaks to your personal experience. It depends on how many you've ran into personally. But I think as long as you're not getting them, like, reliably in a row, it's not too much of a problem. Just here and there is fine, right? And that's actually another thing I really like that they fixed, and that's the meta. I was warned by Japanese players a lot over the past few months that Aquaforce were going to be like a problem, which made me think they were going to be like the next Magic Lord Blaster, and they're pretty good. They're alright. A lot of people play them, but they're not Magic Lord Blaster. Not even close. In fact, I've actually been able to beat quite a lot of Aquaforce players in my crusty old Angel Cover deck, and that's mainly because Aquaforce require a very specific playstyle that takes a few games to really get a handle of, and a lot of people playing Aquaforce are people that have just made the deck because they know it's good, but they don't quite fully understand why it's good. And so because of that, I've been able to beat them pretty reliably because I'm familiar with fighting that clan, and so I can just beat them basically. I know the strategies involved in beating them. So, and that actually makes it fun to win because it's like, oh, I'm winning because I'm outsmarting my opponent. I know the clan better than they do, and I know my own deck better than they do. And it's really fun to play Angel Feather because I feel like a lot of players will overestimate me. I've had more than a handful of games where, I meant to say underestimate me. Don't have to comment correcting me, but I've had more than a few games where like people I'm playing against will like say final turn, try attacking me, and then I won't die, and I'll just be like, all right, I'm gonna beat you now. And like, I've had other things like that where I've like managed to turn around a game pretty quickly because I know how that deck works, and it's really satisfying to set off the various combos associated with it. It's a lot of fun playing with that clan. The thing is, because I've only been playing here and there, on and off, mostly in tournament mode, honestly, because that's the goal I'm working towards, getting the tournament road rewards, I haven't really been climbing ranked. Which is fun because the fact that I haven't really been climbing ranked that much has really exposed to me just how overrated ranked mode is in Bushiroad's eyes. Because in Bushiroad's eyes, it's basically the only game mode worth playing on a consistent basis. There's no real reason to do friend fights unless you're just deck testing and have people to actually play against. And tournament mode is only active at certain days of the week. So for the most part, you're gonna be doing ranked mode. But funny enough, still, and I said this last time, ranked mode is the worst game mode in the game. In fact, I'd rather set up my room than play ranked mode at this point. It's still better because of the more varied meta. I've ran into lots of different varied decks. Yes, Aquaforce is the most common, but actually Ezel is like in close second place. And even when you run into Ezel, there's only like a 50-50 chance as to whether or not they're going to even bother to use Platinum Ezel. A lot of people still just 9 crit Ezel me. And that's fun because there's a bit more variety. I've seen a lot of Narakamis, I've seen some Great Natures, I've seen like a little bit of Pale Moon. It's a bit more varied than it basically ever has been. And I really, really like that. That's what this game should aim towards. It should aim towards most clans being used more or less equally. Obviously, that's an impossible dream to fully achieve. There's always going to be decks that are more meta than other ones, and those decks are going to be used more commonly. But I'm satisfied with where it is right now in regards to how they're balanced. So I do really like that. And to end off, we'll just touch upon the Burnout thing again, because I think it could go either way for this game. I think because this is natural with these kinds of games. When they first launch, people install the game, try it out, see what it's all about, and then eventually over time lose interest and uninstall it and go, okay, cool, that was a fine game, I'm done with it now. And that happens a lot with games, especially within their first few months. And that'll lead to a drop-off that'll reveal like the core player base. The people who are left over now and still playing religiously are most likely the players who will stick around for ages. The problem with this is that the people who have dropped off are people who are usually really big fans of this franchise and really want to play Vanguard and really want to do stuff like, guarding. You should probably add guarding in bushiroad. That would get a lot of people to come back. But yeah, the problem is a lot of people have left, and I don't know if there's still enough people playing that the game can comfortably keep going. I'm sure it's fine right now. But it does make me worry that this game was hyped up since 2018. It was hyped up for 2 years before it released globally. And people are already kind of bored of it half a year later. That kind of sucks. And I think it's fine if you're bored of the game. I'm not necessarily defending it in that way. I just think that bushiroad need to be a bit more unexpected. I think overall that might be the biggest problem other than guarding. I still think guarding is the biggest problem, but that might be one of the biggest problems facing it, and that's just how predictable it is. We get a new set every month on the 1st. It's super easy to remember, oh yeah, 1st of month, new set. Every month gets split into 2 seasons, and each of those seasons are all very similar to each other, with just the rank reward card swapped out for a different alt art card. The events are very predictable. The seasonal events are all the same, but with different skins, especially when the seasonal events are ones you don't really care about. This current one with Aqua Force, it's cool. I like the new artwork and the new skins and everything. I don't have any interest in playing Aqua Force though. I've played the deck a couple times. It's not for me. And so I have no use for these skins, but I've already bought the gacha ticket, so I guess I'm gonna have to buy the skins anyway, because I've got a ton of materials left over to get stuff with. I kind of wish there was more materials and stuff to get from the seasonal events, especially with this one, where it is just Aqua Force getting the attention. Usually they have 2 clans getting the attention, but nope, just Aqua Force this time, so if you don't play Aqua Force, there's no real reason to play the event. And then the clan events all very similar, especially recently. Tachikaze only just happened. Mega Colony is happening soon. I'm not particularly excited because these should have been the first 2 clan events. These clans are pretty underpowered already. They would have had more of a fighting chance if they were introduced earlier, and they should have been. If we're following the TCG, then they should have been introduced earlier. But also, that's another thing. It's adamant to the TCG. Like, the fact this is based on the TCG means a lot less of a workload on their end, because they don't need to invent the wheel. They can just use already existing cards. That's great. But also, we already know what the TCG is. We've already seen the anime. We've already, we're familiar with Vanguard. We know everything that's going to happen in this game. Even if we were caught up to where Japan was, we'd still be able to predict what was going to happen next anyway, because, well, the cards are just going to be the ones that were introduced in the TCG around that time, and the skins and events and all that other stuff is going to be stuff based on the anime that was happening around that time. So it's just getting a bit predictable, a bit too predictable. See, I know that bushiroad are going for this kind of idea that the game becomes part of your daily routine, and so it being predictable is a good thing, and in some circumstances it is, but it just makes it feel like it's lost some of that spice. It needs something new, something unpredictable, something really engaging, maybe some kind of new game mode, maybe some kind of new type of event. Just something that really spices up the game and gets people to go, oh, they added that, that's cool, because it feels like it's been a while, right? Like, when was the last time Global added or changed something that made people go, oh, this got added? Because even with the most recent, couple sets, it's like, okay, cool, they added new cards. Like I said, I didn't even have a reason to open any cards from the most recent set. I just opened old cards instead because of the sparking system. So, because I'm not building any of the new decks. I could build Platinum Ezel, but again, I'm sticking to Angel Feather, and I actually think I prefer 9 crit Ezel anyway, so even if it is probably weaker. So yeah, I'm hoping brake rides can be the breath of fresh air we need, but it's not gonna be. You know, the biggest significant change the brake ride era seems to add so far is the change to the perfect guards, and maybe we'll cover that change once it happens in global. But we need something big, and I know it's difficult and time consuming and very resource intensive to keep developing so much new stuff, even just the predictable stuff like the new skins and cards. That obviously takes a lot of time and effort anyway, but like we just need some variety. Maybe the next seasonal event could be something that isn't the dice rolling. Maybe it could be a completely new thing entirely. Maybe we, could have collectible playmats. That's something they seem to tease, because it's like when you go on your deck selecting screen, you can like change your sleeves. And then it also has like a cutout of like a playmat, but it's always a default one and it doesn't let you change it. And it's like, why can't we get playmat? Surely that's easy, right? Just gotta draw some new art, or even if you're smart, don't even draw new art, just reuse old art from the anime and this very game. That's what Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and it does it fine. Also, that would be cool. Make it so you can just directly buy the playmats and sleeves you want with gems, and have some exclusive ones you can only do by doing that, just like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Because it's cool that you can earn sleeves right now, but also being able to like buy some from the store and maybe get some like different varied ones that aren't just the usual image of anime character, image of card from clan ones. That would be cool. Just something new, like to re-spice things up and make it interesting, because it definitely feels like we're just getting the same stuff over and over again, and it's difficult to be excited about that. And I think that's what the game needs. The game needs to be exciting. It needs something to actively look forward to, and the upcoming sets look cool, but eh. And yeah, that's the current state of Vanguard Zero. So let me know what you think. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you later with some more videos.